Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is the final video in our series where we have been undertaking a deep and logical exploration of the Lord's Prayer, guided by the cosmic analysis of Martinus. We have journeyed step by step through the prayer's thought concentrations, understanding God as the all-encompassing reality that was our Father who art in heaven, seeing that to hallow his name is to perceive the inherent goodness in everything, aligning our will with the divine plan for evolution, like kingdom come, there will be done, praying for universal being and the provision of vital needs, that is, give us this day our daily bread, and understanding forgiveness and deliverance from evil as mechanism for restoring internal harmony and avoiding suffering caused by our own mental negligence. Today we arrived at the powerful and often added concluding phrase, "For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen." Traditionally, this ending is understood as a magnificent declaration of God's supreme authority, his unmatched strength, and his ultimate majesty. It's a statement about God affirming his eternal reign and glory, serving as a final act of worship and acknowledgement of his sovereign nature. It's a powerful expression of faith in a transcendent, all powerful being. However, as we navigate a modern world where increasing intelligence requires explanations that make sense, where traditional faith alone may not provide a sufficient basis for life, simply declaring an external God's power might feel less like a personal realization and more like a dogma to be believed. Martinus' cosmic perspective offers a profound, deeply personal, and intellectual satisfying interpretation of this phrase. Martinus reveals that this concluding phrase is not just a declaration about God, but a cosmic realization of our oneness with God. It is the ultimate synthesis of the entire prayer, leading the consciousness to its highest potential state, merging with the divine. It's the culmination of the journey the prayer facilitates. This video will break down each part of this conclusion declaration, the kingdom, the power, and the glory from Martinus' cosmic perspective. We'll see how each element, when understood cosmically, leads us to recognize our inherent connection to the divine reality, bringing the prayer to its perfect, non-selfish conclusion and pointing towards the ultimate happiness, conscious unity with the Godhead. As our consciousness develops, we require explanations that we can check and understand, that make sense of life's mysteries in a coherent way. Martinus' cosmic science provide this, showing how the Lord's Prayer fits seamlessly into a logical picture of existence and evolution. This final phrase, far from being a simple add-on, encapsulates this ultimate understanding. So let's break it down. For thine is the kingdom. Martinus explains that the kingdom refers to the entire universe, the cosmos itself. This is God's kingdom because, as we established in the first explanation of the first part of the Lord's Prayer, God is the infinite, all-compassing reality, the conscious being of the cosmos. But this realization extends beyond the vastness of space. It includes our own personal kingdom, our organism, our life, our entire being. By declaring, "Thine is the kingdom," we recognize that our very existence is part of God's greater kingdom, not something separate or independently owned. And the power. The power is God's will and direction of will, the fundamental force that governs this cosmic kingdom, the underlying intelligence and love that drive the eternal world plan and the evolution of all life. When we declare, "Thine is the power," we realize that our own ability to act, our own will, our own capacity to create and influence, is not fundamentally our separate power, but an expression of God's power working through us. We are instruments of this divine power, even when we are imperfect ones. Recognizing this means acknowledging that the ultimate power isn't ours to wield arbitrarily, but belongs to the divine direction that governs all of us. And the glory. Martinus states that the glory is the perfect manifestation of this divine will and power. Only the perfect, rightful direction of will, the culmination of divine love and intellect, can be truly glorious. By declaring thine is the glory, we deny ourselves any ultimate claim to credit for our own achievements, however great or perfect they may seem from our limited perspective. We recognize that any true perfection or beauty we manifest is ultimately an expression of God's inherent glory working through us. It fosters deep humility and appreciation. Forever and ever. Amen. This simply affirms that this reality, God being the kingdom, the power, and the glory, is eternal, immutable, the fundamental truth of existence. Amen seals this understanding and alignment. Putting it all together, this final phrase is a cosmic act of total self committal. Having prayed through the steps of aligning God's nature and plan, we conclude by realizing and affirming our inherent eternal unity with that divine reality. We are not just separate beings praying to a distant God, but parts of the very kingdom, power, glory we are declaring. It's the step out of the feeling of separation and into the conscious experience of oneness. Tino states that this entire prayer, when prayed with genuine understanding of its cosmic meaning, is the most perfect prayer possible. It's entirely non selfish, aiming not for personal favors, but for alignment with the universal good. And training oneself to pray with this deep understanding, this conscious realization of our connection to the divine, leads directly to the highest happiness, a merging with the Godhead consciousness, being, and love. This cosmic understanding of the Lord's Prayer offered by Martinus provides a basis for spiritual connection that is grounded in logic and experience, filling the vacuum that traditional faith may have left for many modern individuals. It's a path to knowing, not just believing, offering a coherent worldview that integrates the higher spiritual truth with the intellectual understanding. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the Lord's Prayer according to Martinus. I hope this video has offered you a new perspective and some insights. And if this final video or any in the series resonated with you, please give it a like. Your likes and comments are the best way to help these ideas reach more people who might benefit from them. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel for more exploration of Martinus' cosmic worldview. Finally, what are your final thoughts on the Lord's Prayer after this series? Please leave a comment below, and I would love to hear how this has landed with you. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you'll join me in future videos. Thank you.